Thank you, Acting Deputy President. I know this is not my first speech. I rise here today to speak of the sheer madness of the government's plan to de-industrialise and shut down Australia in pursuit of an unachievable fantasy of net zero emissions. A fantasy handed down by the unelected bureaucrats at the United Nations and the World Economic Forum who care not for the future and prosperity of our nation or our people and who care not for the environment. Net zero at its core is about power and control for a tiny elite, global corporations and foreign powers. The science that CO2 emissions will cause catastrophic climate change is not settled, and there is no true scientific consensus on the matter. Even if one was to accept the currently pushed narrative, Australia accounts for approximately 1% of total global emissions, and a cut of 43% will have practically zero effect on global climate change. When the government says that they are going to reduce CO2 emissions, what they really should be saying is, let's reduce our standard of living. Let's close down Australian businesses. Let's close down factories. Let's stop making things. Let's stop using agricultural land, and let's cut back on food production. We need to cut the rubbish and call it for what it is. Meanwhile, the CCP is not reducing any of their CO2 emissions. In fact, they have plans to build 43 more coal-fired power plants. What we'll see is a transfer of wealth and the means of production from Australia over to the CCP. They will be quite happy with the direction that we are heading in. We shut down our country and they benefit. This will not result in any net decrease in CO2 emissions, as they and others will simply increase their emissions and negate any reductions we make. What we need to do is move away from an obsession with CO2 and open up a conversation around pollution. We want to protect our natural world, keep our rainforests from being cut down, keep chemicals out of the estuaries and the sea, cut plastic pollution, and make corporations accountable for industrial waste which they output when they produce goods and services. Yes, we do. So let's move the conversation to that.